Hey everyone, and welcome back to the How to Speak Fluent English podcast. I'm your friend Amora, and my mission is to help you sound more natural and confident when you speak English. Today, we're diving deep into some fantastic English idioms, those colorful phrases that don't always mean what they literally say, but are used all the time by native speakers. Learning these will seriously boost your fluency and understanding. What are idioms? First off, what exactly is an idiom? Well, according to sources, idioms are words or phrases that shouldn't be taken literally and usually have a cultural meaning behind them. You might know all the individual words, but the phrase together has a completely different meaning. Think of them as mini codes that unlock a deeper level of understanding in English conversations. Today, we're going to break down 10 common English idioms. We'll explain exactly what they mean and give you 3 brand new example sentences for each one so you can see how to use them in your daily chats. All right, let's get started. Let's kick things off with our first idiom, to cut corners.
You shouldn't have to cut corners.
We're gonna have to cut some corners now.
Detailed meaning. To cut corners means to do something in the quickest, cheapest, or easiest way possible, often by skipping important steps or using substandard materials. This usually leads to a result that is not as good as it should be. The idiom often carries a negative connotation, suggesting carelessness, lack of thoroughness, or even dishonesty. It's commonly used when talking about work, construction, or any process where quality is important. Why do people cut corners? People may cut corners to save time, money, or effort, but the outcome is usually disappointing or even problematic. For example, using cheaper materials in building a house might save money at first, but could cause serious issues later on. Examples in conversation. The builder cut corners on the foundation of the house, which led to structural problems later on. You shouldn't cut corners when preparing for an important exam. Make sure you study everything thoroughly. They tried to cut corners on their marketing budget, and their sales dropped significantly. Moving on. Here's the second idiom you should know. To add insult to injury.
Just to add insult to injury.
Then, to add insult to injury?
Detailed meaning. This idiom is used when someone makes a bad situation even worse by saying or doing something that increases the pain, disappointment, or frustration. The original problem is already unpleasant, and then something else happens that makes you feel even worse, almost like rubbing salt in a wound. It's often used to describe situations where someone is already suffering or has experienced a setback and then receives more bad news or unfair treatment on top of it. Why do we use it? It emphasizes how unfair or unfortunate a situation has become, and it helps people express their frustration or disbelief at how things can go from bad to worse. Examples in conversation. First, I missed my bus, and then, to add insult to injury, it started raining heavily as I waited for the next one. His computer crashed, and to add insult to injury, he hadn't saved his work for hours. They canceled our flight, and then, to add insult to injury, they told us we wouldn't get a refund. Now, number 3 idiom on our list is, you can't judge a book by its cover.
Never judge a book by its cover.
Never judge a book by its cover.
Detailed meaning. This idiom means you should not form an opinion about someone or something based only on what you see on the outside. Outward appearances can be misleading. The true value, character, or quality is often hidden beneath the surface. It encourages people to look deeper and not make snap judgments based on looks, packaging, or first impressions. Why do we use it? It's a reminder to keep an open mind and avoid stereotypes or superficial judgments. People, places, and things can surprise us if we take the time to get to know them better. Examples in conversation. The old building looked abandoned and scary, but inside it was a beautiful, renovated theater. Really, you can't judge a book by its cover. Don't dismiss him just because he dresses casually. You can't judge a book by its cover. He might be the most brilliant person you'll meet. The restaurant looked small and unimpressive from the outside, but the food was incredible. It just goes to show you can't judge a book by its cover. Up next, idiom number 4 is break a leg.
Break a leg. Break a leg.
Meaning, break a leg is a way to wish someone good luck, especially before a performance, audition, or important event. Even though it sounds negative, it's actually a positive. encouraging phrase. The idiom is most commonly used in the theater and performing arts, but it can also be used for exams, interviews, or sports. Why do we say this? The phrase comes from a superstition in the theater world. It was believed that wishing someone good luck directly might actually bring bad luck, so performers started saying break a leg instead. It's a way of showing support and encouragement while following tradition. Examples in conversation: you have your job interview this morning, break a leg. I'm sure you'll do great. The whole team wishes you good luck for your presentation. Break a leg. As she stepped onto the stage for her piano recital, her teacher whispered, break a leg. Coming in at number 5, to hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
You hit the nail on the head, mister.
Meaning, this idiom is used when someone has said or done something that is exactly right or perfectly accurate. Imagine you're hammering a nail. If you hit it on the head, you're striking the precise spot needed to drive it in. Similarly, when someone hits the nail on the head in conversation, they've identified the real issue, described a situation with complete accuracy, or given the perfect solution to a problem. Why do we use it? It's a way to compliment someone for their insight, understanding, or clear communication. It highlights that the person's observation or answer is not just close, but exactly correct. Examples in conversation. When she said the project failed because of poor communication, I knew she had hit the nail on the head. His analysis of the company's financial issues really hit the nail on the head. You just described exactly what I've been feeling lately. You truly hit the nail on the head. For our 6th idiom, listen closely. This is a favorite in everyday conversation. A blessing in disguise.
Hook was a blessing in disguise.
Blessing in disguise.
Meaning, this idiom refers to a situation that seems bad, unlucky, or unfortunate at first, but later turns out to have positive results. The disguise part means that the blessing, the good thing, is hidden behind what looks like a problem. Often we only realize the benefit after some time has passed, when we see the bigger picture or experience unexpected opportunities. Why do we use it? It helps people stay optimistic and look for the silver lining in difficult situations. It's a reminder that not everything bad is truly negative. Sometimes setbacks lead to better outcomes. Examples in conversation. Getting fired from that job felt terrible at the time, but it turned out to be a blessing in disguise because it pushed me to start my own successful business. Missing my train was frustrating, but it was a blessing in disguise because I met my future spouse while waiting for the next one. Having to sell our old car was a blessing in disguise. The money helped us pay off debt, and now we walk more, which is healthier. Number 7 is a classic, call it a day.
Call it a day.
Well, I'm calling it a day.
Meaning, to call it a day means to decide that you've done enough work or activity and it's time to stop, either for a break or until the next day. It's often used at the end of a work session, meeting, or project, signaling that it's time to rest or move on to something else. Why do we use it? It's a friendly, informal way to suggest wrapping things up, especially when people are tired or have accomplished what they set out to do. Examples in conversation. We've been working on this report for 8 hours straight. Let's call it a day and finish tomorrow. It's getting late and everyone is tired. I think we should call it a day. The construction crew packed up their tools and decided to call it a day when it started to rain. Here's idiom number 8, let someone off the hook.
Just let her off the hook.
Let me off the hook.
Meaning, to let someone off the hook means to free someone from blame, responsibility, or punishment, especially when they were expected to face consequences. The phrase comes from fishing. When you let a fish off the hook, you release it instead of catching it. In life, it means giving someone a break or forgiving them, even if they made a mistake or did something wrong. Why do we use it? It's used when someone is excused from a difficult situation, duty, or penalty, often out of kindness, understanding, or sometimes because of circumstances beyond their control. Examples in conversation. The teacher decided to let the student off the hook this time after he promised not to cheat again. My boss decided to let me off the hook for being late because it was the first time it had happened. Even though she broke the vase, her grandmother loved her so much that she just let her off the hook. Idiom number 9 is a must-have for your English vocab. No pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain.
Meaning, this idiom expresses the idea that achieving something valuable or making significant progress almost always requires effort, struggle, or sacrifice. It's commonly used to encourage perseverance and hard work, especially when the process is difficult, uncomfortable, or even painful. The phrase is often associated with physical training, but it applies to all areas of life, such as studying, learning new skills, or pursuing personal goals. Why do we use it? We use no pain, no gain to remind ourselves and others that success doesn't come easily. It's a motivational phrase meant to push people to keep going even when things get tough, because the rewards will be worth the effort. Examples in conversation. Training for a marathon is tough, but as they say, no pain, no gain. Learning a new language can be challenging, but stick with it. No pain, no gain. He worked long hours and sacrificed his social life for years because he believed in the principle of no pain, no gain to achieve his career goals. And finally, number 10, let's wrap up with this essential expression, bite the bullet.
Guess it's time to bite the bullet.
Go. Bite the bullet.
Meaning, to bite the bullet means to face a difficult, unpleasant, or painful situation with courage and determination, especially when you have been putting it off or dreading it. The idiom suggests accepting that something must be done, even if it's uncomfortable, and dealing with it bravely rather than avoiding it any longer. Why do we use it? We use this phrase when we finally decide to confront something challenging, such as a tough conversation, a medical procedure, or an unpleasant task. It's about summoning the courage to get it over with, knowing that delaying will only prolong the discomfort. Examples in conversation. I really don't want to go to the dentist, but my toothache is getting worse, so I guess I'll just have to bite the bullet. Filing taxes is complicated and tedious, but you just have to bite the bullet and get it done. It was hard to tell her the truth, but he decided to bite the bullet and be honest about his feelings. I hope this explanation of 10 common idioms was helpful. If you have questions about any of them, or want to share an example sentence you created, leave a comment below. I love hearing from you. I reply to all the queries and help you get better at English. If you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone else learning English. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss future episodes of the How to Speak Fluent English podcast. This is your friend Amora signing off. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Happy learning!